Today, we're diving into one of the greatest underdog stories of the entire space age. It's about the world's very first non-governmental satellite. And this thing wasn't built in some pristine, high-tech government lab. Nope, it was built in basements and garages by a group of incredibly passionate amateurs. So let's rewind the clock and see just how this amazing pipe dream actually became a reality. To really get this story, you gotta put yourself back in 1961. The Cold War is absolutely raging, and space, the final frontier, has become the ultimate high ground in this massive global power struggle. So who had the keys to orbit back then? Who could actually do it? Well, the answer was pretty simple. Superpowers. That's it. You had the Soviet Union, who shocked the entire world with Sputnik back in '57, and then you had the United States racing to catch up with Explorer I. Space was this super exclusive club, right? It was reserved for nations with just immense wealth, political power, and of course, military muscle. It was absolutely not a place for hobbyists. Or so everyone thought. Because while these giants were posturing, a small group of amateur radio enthusiasts, people often called hams, had what most people would call a complete pipe dream. They wanted to build and launch their very own satellite. And this wasn't just some idle chatter over drinks. No, they actually formed a group. They called it Project Oscar. And they had one clear, incredibly audacious goal: put a homemade satellite into space. They were driven by this, radical belief that space shouldn't just belong to governments. It should be accessible to everyone. But you know what their biggest challenge was? It wasn't the tech. I mean, the engineering was hard for sure. But this quote, "This tells you everything." The bureaucratic mountain they had to climb just to get permission from the US Air Force to hitch a ride, that was even harder than actually designing and building the satellite from scratch. Think about that. So how in the world did they pull it off? Well, it wasn't with a billion-dollar budget, I can tell you that. It was with pure, unadulterated ingenuity and this do-it-yourself spirit that has become legendary. This is the story of a truly bargain basement spacecraft. $63. Let that sink in. That is not a typo. While governments were pouring millions upon millions into their space programs, this team of volunteers, using scavenged and donated parts, built a legitimate space-worthy vehicle for less than the cost of a new video game. It was the absolute ultimate shoestring budget. And when we say homebrew, we mean it literally. Oscar was pieced together in workshops, basements, and garages all across California. And this maker spirit just kept going in later Oscar projects. I mean, some essential fiberglass parts were actually cured in a team member's family kitchen stove. You can't make this stuff up. And this just perfectly captures their resourcefulness. So to become the first ever satellite to be ejected as a secondary payload into its own unique orbit, they needed a deployment system. Their high-tech solution? A $1.15 spring that they ordered straight out of a Sears robot catalog. And guess what? It worked perfectly. Okay, so the satellite's built, permission is somehow miraculously secured. The moment of truth has arrived. Would this $63 garage-built box actually survive the brutal launch into space? And even if it did, could its tiny little signal really be heard around the world? And just look at how quickly this all happened. It was only 4 years after Sputnik officially kicked off the space age that these amateurs joined the superpowers up there in orbit. That's an absolutely astonishing leap from a crazy idea on the back of a napkin to a reality circling the globe. So on December 12, 1961, the 10-pound Oscar I piggybacked on an Air Force rocket and was successfully spring-loaded into orbit. Its mission was beautiful in its simplicity. Just continuously transmit the letters HI in Morse code, a friendly, universal greeting from the world's amateur radio community to the planet below. It orbited for 22 days before making its triumphant, silent return, burning up in the atmosphere. So, the big question, was it heard? Oh yeah, it was an overwhelming success. More than 570 amateur operators in 28 different countries, from literally every corner of the globe, reported hearing that cheerful hi-hi signal. Oscar, I had proven it. A small, inexpensive satellite built by volunteers could unite a global community. But the story doesn't just end with Oscar I's 22-day trip. Its success wasn't just some quirky footnote in space history. No way. It sparked a revolution in citizen science and kicked the door to space wide open for everybody else. And that revolution? It's still going strong today. The project's name, OSCR, actually became the official designation for all future amateur satellites. So today, earning an OSCR number is a real badge of honor in the community. It's a direct link right back to that first pioneering mission. And the innovation just exploded after that. Just look at this progression. A year later, Oscar II had better sensors. But by 1965, Oscar III carried the world's very first satellite voice transponder. Now think of that as a repeater in the sky. It could pick up a signal from a ham on the ground and rebroadcast it over thousands of miles. This was a total game changer, letting amateurs talk to each other across continents for the very first time. Now, as the technology got more complex, the organization had to grow up too. The scrappy, kind of ad hoc Project Oscar evolved into a formal nonprofit, AMSAT, the Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation. It was formed in 1969, and AMSAT's whole mission was to build on this incredible legacy and take the amateur space program truly global. And they totally succeeded. What started in a California garage blossomed into a worldwide movement. Amateur radio operators from over 20 countries, we're talking Australia, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Germany, you name it, they've all contributed to building and launching Oscar satellites, creating a truly international community in orbit. And listen, don't ever mistake this for just a hobby. These so-called amateurs were consistently on the cutting edge. They pioneered technologies like those voice transponders and also digital store and forward messaging. That's the ability to upload a message to a satellite and have it deliver it hours later when it passes over the right spot. These are innovations that were later adopted by the billion-dollar commercial satellite industry. You want to know the true legacy of that first $63 satellite? It's this number right here, 125. Since 1961, 125 different satellites, all built by amateurs, have earned that prestigious Oscar designation. They've created this long-lasting, ever-evolving constellation of citizen science and pure passion orbiting our planet. So the story of Oscar really leaves us with this powerful question. It proved that when you give passionate, determined people access to a frontier, they don't just explore it, they revolutionize it. It really makes you wonder, what other revolutions are brewing in garages and workshops right now, just waiting for their chance to launch?